Alright, hello, thank you so much for purchasing my Hyperspin drive. I'm going to explain how you can install the drive, get everything set up and working properly. Everything else is already pre-configured by me, but there is an initial setup that you'll have to go through, and I'll walk you through that right now. So what you want to do is, the first thing you'll want to do is go on your drive. You're going to see this folder right here, setup instructions and prerequisite files. There's one second here. Not sure. Okay, so you want to go into that folder. You'll see a subfolder called required fonts. Click on required fonts, and you want to get this font, the Bebas new font, installed. The reason why is this is the font Hyperspin uses. If this font isn't installed in your computer, then Hyperspin won't work properly, unfortunately. So what you want to do here is right click on the font on Windows 7, 8, 8.1 or 10. You'll have an option to just install. So just right click, hit install. I already have it installed here, so I can't install it again, but for you, you'll just click yes, or it should just automatically install once you click install. So once you have that going, that is great. What you want to do now is you want to make sure that the Hyperspin drive that you just connected to your computer is named and labeled G. G as in girl, okay? So when you connect a hard drive to your computer, Windows will automatically assign the hard drive a random letter. That normally works great if you don't have any compiled programs, but since this is kind of pre-set up for you, we have to make sure it's set as G. So what you want to do is you want to go click on your Windows icon to the lower left, and you want to type run, R-U-N. Click on run, and that should open up your run box right here. And this is exactly what you want to type in. Disk mgmt, disk mgmt dot msc. Go ahead and click OK, and you will see the disk management window open up. This is the program that we'll use to change the drive from whatever random letter it's assigned to right now on your computer to the letter G. You're going to see the drive in the list right here. Now it may be named something different and it's going to have a random letter, but what you'll do is once you locate the drive right here, you'll right click on the drive, go down to change drive letters and paths, click on change again, and then just change this right here next to assign the following drive letter. Change it from whatever letter it's currently set to G. You don't see G here in my list because mine is already set to, I already have G assigned. But if you don't have G assigned, you should see it here in this list. You just click on G, click OK again. It'll take maybe like 30 seconds or less, and then you should be good to go. The drive should be called G at that point. Just make sure you go to your This PC section and make sure you can see it labeled as G. Okay. So the next thing you'll want to do is you'll want to install your controllers. You can use the Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, or PS4 controller. If you don't really care which controller and you just want a good recommendation, then I'd recommend the Xbox 360 controller, the wired controller. That controller is plug and play on Windows. So Windows 7 through 10, you plug in the wired Xbox 360 controller, it'll just start working automatically. So if you're looking for a controller to get, that's going to be the best controller to get. Xbox 360 controller. Xbox One is also plug and play as well, but might be a bit more expensive. So if you have Xbox 360, Xbox One, that's going to be pretty plug and play. All of the games on Hyperspin will already be set up to work with these controllers. But if you're using a PlayStation controller, you'll have to install the PlayStation's software, which I'll show you here. So back on your drive, you're going to have the folder setup instructions and prereq files. Double click on that and you'll see a subfolder called SCP PS3 and PS4 controller installation. Click on that, you're going to see SCP Toolkit Setup. And you want to double click on SCP Toolkit Setup. I already have it set up and installed here, so what I'll do is I'll show you how it works in my PDF. Well, not P, I'm sorry, my document here. So this is what it looks like when you first launch the SCP Toolkit for PS3 or PS4. Keep in mind that this works for PS3 and PS4. You can also use Bluetooth on the PS4 or PS3 controller. Just make sure that you have a Bluetooth dongle connected when you're installing the software. Double click on the SCP Toolkit setup, and on this page you'll click Agree, click Next. The default installation path is fine. Just check the box there and click next. All of these default options are fine, so you'll just go ahead and click on install to start that install process. Here on this screen, you're going to see a screen pop up with a big green play button. That is required, so you want to click on this. It's gonna go ahead and install some software, and then you'll see this last page pop up here. This is when you can do a few things. You can install Bluetooth. So if you have a Bluetooth dongle connected, you would just check your install Bluetooth driver there. Click on this drop down and select your Bluetooth dongle. If not, then you can forget about Bluetooth. And then at this point, you want to select whether you're installing PS3, which is DualShock 3, or PS4, which is DualShock 4. Okay. So for instance, I have a PlayStation 4 controller. So what I would do is I would just click the check for the install DualShock 4 for PlayStation 4. Um, Choose DualShock 4 controller to install. It's normally going to be called a wireless controller, the PlayStation controller. So you just select a wireless controller, click install on the right side, and it'll install the software there. You may need to restart the computer, but that's fine. From that point, you should be all set. If you're using Windows 10, there's one more thing you'll want to do. You want to click on your start menu, go to type Windows Defender settings. Click on Windows Defender settings. Click on virus and threat protection. Virus and threat protection settings again. And then you want to scroll down on this page until you see exclusions. The reason why you're coming here is because you want to make sure that Windows Defender or any antivirus you have on a computer isn't scanning your G drive. It'll make Hyperspin run slowly, and it will also stop certain games from working. So you want to make sure that your G drive is definitely excluded here. You want to hit add, and then as you can see, I already have G excluded. So for you, you would just click on add an exclusion. It's going to be folder, so you click on folder, and the folder would just be your G drive. You just go to this PC and just click on G, whatever your G drive is, whatever name you want to give it. Select G, and that's it. So at that point, Hyperspin should be all set up, and you should be able to play. Depending on the controllers you're using, you might have some issues there. Let me know on eBay if you do. Like I mentioned, Xbox controllers are going to be much easier to set up than PlayStation controllers. So if you're shopping for controllers, Xbox 360 wired controller is going to be the best bet. At this point, you can launch a Hyperspin. You should see a Hyperspin shortcut in the root of your drive. If not, you can double click on the Hyperspin Live folder. In that folder, you'll see a bunch of files, but don't let that make you nervous or scared. Just go down and you'll see hyperspin.exe. You want to double click on hyperspin.exe, which I'll do right now, and we'll see it launch on my computer. And this is Hyperspin. And, and there you go. All the controllers should be set up. Everything should be pre-configured for you. Um, Make sure to also run Windows updates. Oh, I also forgot one thing that you might want to do if you're on a laptop, especially any computer really, but especially on laptops. You want to update your video card drivers. If not, games, Hyperspin will run slow, games will run slow, things like that. So what you want to do is you want to right click on your Windows icon, go to Device Manager. You're going to see a section here that says display adapters. You should have just one item under there. It's probably not going to be a 1070, but it could be whatever. It could be an HD 4500, HD 5000, whatever you see under display adapters. Right click on that, click on Update Driver, and click on Search automatically for updated driver software. It'll search Microsoft, try to get some updates and install them for you automatically, which will give you better performance. As you can see right now, I already have the most updated software for my card, but on your card, you actually may get an update that can give you better performance on games and in Hyperspin. So that should be all you need. If you need any further assistance, contact me on eBay, and you have a good night. Bye bye.